Most people walk past pennies every day without a second thought. But what if I told you that one small brown coin from 1960 could be hiding a story worth far more than its face value, and in rare cases, hundreds or even thousands of dollars? Today, we're uncovering the real story behind the 1960 D Lincoln penny, a coin that looks ordinary but carries a surprising place in American history and collector culture. The 1960 D Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which is why it carries a small D mint mark just below the year on the front of the coin. Like most Lincoln cents, it shows President Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. At first glance, it looks like millions of other pennies you've seen your whole life. But collectors know that this particular year and mint combination has a few secrets that make it far more interesting than it appears. To understand this coin, we need to go back to 1960. America was entering a new decade filled with optimism, tension, and rapid change. The space race was heating up, television was becoming a household staple, and the country was still riding the economic momentum that followed World War II. The U.S. Mint was producing billions of coins each year to keep up with a growing population and booming commerce. Pennies were everywhere, passing through soda machines, grocery stores, school lunch lines, and pocket change jars. The Lincoln cent design itself had already been in circulation for more than 50 years by 1960. It was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, making it the first regular U.S. coin to feature a real person instead of a symbolic figure. By 1959, the reverse side of the penny had changed from wheat stalks to the Lincoln Memorial, and 1960 was only the second year that this new design was used. That alone makes it a coin from the early days of a major design shift in U.S. coinage. The Denver Mint produced over 1.5 billion pennies in 1960, which means the 1960 D penny is not rare in normal circulated condition. But here's where things get interesting. That year, the Mint used two different styles of date lettering, known today as small date and large date varieties. These subtle differences weren't meant to create collectibles. They happened because the Mint adjusted the design punches during production. But decades later, collectors realized that some versions were scarcer than others, especially in top condition. On the front of the coin, the small date variety shows thinner numbers and a slightly weaker-looking 0 in 1960, while the large date version has bolder, wider digits that stand out more clearly. To most people, the difference is almost invisible. But to collectors, this tiny detail can mean a huge difference in value, especially if the coin has never been circulated and still has its original mint shine. Now let's talk about what the coin is made of. The 1960 D penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which gives it that classic reddish-brown color people associate with old pennies. This was before the Mint switched to copper-plated zinc cents in 1982, so these earlier coins are heavier and feel more solid in the hand. Many collectors enjoy them not just for their history, but for their old-school copper look and weight. The design on the front features Victor David Brenner's famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which has been on the penny for more than a century. On the back, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, with tiny columns and even a faint outline of Lincoln's statue inside the building if the coin is well struck. For a 1-cent coin, it's surprisingly detailed, and when you find one in high grade, those details become sharp, crisp, and beautiful. So why does anyone care about a penny that was made over 1 billion times? The answer lies in condition, varieties, and eras. Most 1960 D pennies that circulated in everyday use are worth only 1 or 2 cents today. But uncirculated examples, especially those with strong original color and no wear, can sell for significantly more. And when you factor in the small date variety, things get even more exciting. In top condition, a 1960 D small date penny graded by a professional service can sell for hundreds of dollars. In some cases, exceptionally well-preserved examples with blazing red copper color and nearly perfect surfaces have sold for over $1,000 at auction. These are coins that probably went straight from the mint into rolls and were never spent, touched by greasy fingers, or bounced around in pockets and cash drawers. Then there are error coins. Errors happen when something goes wrong during the minting process, and some of these mistakes can dramatically increase a coin's value. On 1960 pennies, collectors have found off-center strikes, doubled dies, clipped planchets, and weak strikes where parts of the design didn't fully form. A genuine doubled die, where letters or numbers appear doubled due to a misaligned die, can be especially valuable. These errors turn an ordinary penny into a one-of-a-kind piece of mint history. Let's look at some real-world examples. A high-grade 1960 small-date penny, graded MS67, read by a major grading service, has sold at auction for well over $1,000. Even MS66 examples, which are still nearly perfect, often bring several $100s. Error coins from this year and mint, depending on the type and severity, can range from $50 to several $1,000s. Meanwhile, a circulated example might still be worth only a penny, showing how much condition truly matters in coin collecting. This dramatic difference in value is what makes searching through old coins so exciting. Somewhere in old jars, drawers, and inherited collections, there are still uncirculated 1960 pennies waiting to be rediscovered. Most people have no idea that such a small detail like the size of the date or the sharpness of the strike can transform a common coin into a valuable collectible. So how can you tell if you have a real 1960 penny and not a fake or altered coin? First, look at the date and mint mark. A genuine 1960 penny will have a small d below the year on the front of the coin. It should look clean and properly shaped, not scratched in or added later. The weight should be around 3.11 grams, since it's made of solid copper alloy, and the coin should not stick to a magnet. Next, examine the date closely. Compare it to known examples of small date and large date varieties. On the small date, the 6 and 0 in 1960 look thinner, and the top of the 6 tends to be more level. On the large date, the numbers look bolder and more open. A magnifying glass or phone camera zoom can help reveal these subtle differences. Also check the overall surface. Real mint state coins will have a smooth, shiny look called luster, which moves across the surface when you tilt the coin under light. If the coin looks dull, scratched, or worn flat on the high points, it has likely been circulated and will be worth much less. If you believe you've found something special, professional grading services can authenticate and grade your coin, confirming whether it's genuine and how much condition it retains. One surprising fact about the 1960 penny is how many collectors focus on this year, because it marks the first appearance of the small date variety in the Memorial Cent series. This small design change created one of the most studied and collected subtypes in modern Lincoln cents. For many collectors, the 1960 small date penny is a key piece in building a complete Memorial Cent set. Another fun detail is that during 1960, the mint was experimenting with different ways to improve die life and strike quality, which may explain why subtle variations appeared in the date style. What was once seen as a routine manufacturing tweak is now viewed as a defining feature of the coin. It's a reminder that even small production decisions can leave lasting marks on history. Collectors also love this coin because it sits at a crossroads in American coinage. It's from the early years of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, yet still part of the classic copper era before composition changes altered the feel and sound of pennies forever. Holding a 1960 penny is like holding a small piece of mid-20th century America, from a time when pennies were still made of solid copper and carried real weight in the hand. There's also something deeply satisfying about the idea that a coin worth only 1 cent could one day be worth hundreds or more, simply because it survived in pristine condition. It reminds people that history doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it hides quietly in everyday objects, waiting for someone curious enough to look closer. Today, the 1960 D Lincoln penny remains one of the most approachable collectible coins for beginners and seasoned collectors alike. It's common enough to be found in old collections, but complex enough to reward careful study. Between the large date and small date varieties, error possibilities, and dramatic price differences based on condition, it offers a complete lesson in what makes coins valuable. And perhaps the most exciting part is that these coins are still out there. They're sitting in dusty jars, forgotten rolls, old drawers, and inherited boxes of loose change. Every time someone sorts through old pennies, there's a small chance they'll uncover a bright red, untouched 1960D small date cent that's been hiding for more than 60 years. So the next time you see a penny from 1960, don't dismiss it. Turn it over. Look for that tiny D, study the shape of the numbers, tilt it in the light, because what looks like an ordinary coin could be a rare survivor from America's past, quietly waiting to tell its story. And who knows, the next life-changing coin discovery might not come from a treasure chest, a shipwreck, or a vault. It might come from a handful of loose change, where a small copper penny from 1960 has been hiding in plain sight all along. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that could be worth far more than the face value stamped on it. A small piece of copper, often overlooked in jars and drawers, yet carrying a story that spans decades. Today, we're uncovering the fascinating world of the 1967 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors and treasure hunters alike. What makes this ordinary-looking penny potentially extraordinary? Let's find out. The 1967 Lincoln penny, officially known as the Lincoln cent, is one of the many coins that bear the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the front. But this particular penny has a twist. While most pennies produced in the United States carry a small letter indicating the mint where they were struck, like a D for Denver or a S for San Francisco, the 1967 no mint mark penny stands out for what it doesn't have. Instead of a mint mark, the coin simply carries the date and Lincoln's profile, leaving collectors intrigued and, in some cases, eager to track down every example they can find. The story of the 1967 penny begins in the 1960s, a period when the United States was experiencing both social change and a coin shortage. The Lincoln cent had been in circulation since 1909, introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1967, the Lincoln penny had evolved slightly in design, but retained the iconic obverse featuring Lincoln's profile and the reverse showing the wheat ears design, though some versions were already transitioning to the Lincoln Memorial design. The penny in 1967 was minted primarily for everyday use. It was made of a bronze alloy, composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This gave the coin a warm, reddish-brown color that we still recognize today. While most pennies bore a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, the Philadelphia Mint at the time produced coins without any mint mark at all. This was standard for Philadelphia pennies, but for collectors today, the absence of a mint mark can be significant. So what makes the 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny unique? On the surface, it may appear like any other penny from the 1960s, but the details matter. The coin's composition and subtle design differences can tell a story about its origin. Some 1967 pennies may show minor die errors, such as doubling of the date or slight variations in the letters of Liberty or In God We Trust. While these errors are rare, they add another layer of intrigue for collectors. Even without major errors, the mere fact that a coin is a no-mint mark 1967 penny can draw attention because it connects directly to the Philadelphia Mint, which played a central role in U.S. coinage for over a century. Collectors are particularly interested in this coin because of its historical context and scarcity in high grades. While millions of 1967 pennies were produced, finding one that is uncirculated or in mint condition can be surprisingly difficult. Coins that have survived without scratches, discoloration, or wear are highly prized. For numismatists, The value is not just in the metal or face value, it's in the story, the rarity, and the connection to an era of American history. Real-world auction records show the potential for value, especially for coins in exceptional condition. A standard circulated 1967 no-mint mark penny might be worth only a few cents to a couple of dollars. But uncirculated examples, especially those graded by professional coin services as M-65 or higher, can fetch significantly more, sometimes several $100s, depending on demand and market trends. Some unique era varieties have even sold for thousands, demonstrating how the combination of rarity, condition, and collector interest can transform a simple penny into a small treasure. If you're hoping to identify a real 1967 no-mint mark penny, the process is fairly straightforward, but attention to detail is key. First, check the area beneath the date. A genuine Philadelphia penny from 1967 will have no mint mark at all. Next, examine the coin's surface. Look for signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration, which can affect value. High-grade coins will have sharp details, clear lettering, and a bright, even color. Counterfeit or altered coins are rare but not impossible, so careful observation or consultation with a professional coin grader can provide peace of mind. Here's a surprising detail many people don't know. In 1967, the United States was in the midst of a coin shortage, especially of small denominations like pennies. This was partly due to rising metal costs and high demand for coins in circulation. While it didn't prevent production, it did make each minted coin more significant in the broader context of American currency history. Collectors often find it fascinating that what seems like an ordinary coin was minted during a time of economic tension, giving it an unexpected historical weight. Another fun fact is that the 1967 penny marked one of the last years before the U.S. Mint began experimenting with different compositions and finishes. Within a few years, the shift to a more zinc-heavy composition would begin, changing the look and feel of pennies forever. Holding a 1967 no-mint mark penny is like holding a snapshot of an America on the cusp of change, when pennies still carried a heavier, copper-rich presence. Collectors love this coin today not just for its potential monetary value, but for the story it represents. It is a tangible piece of history that can be found in pocket change, jars, or old collections, waiting to be discovered. The thrill comes from the hunt, the examination of details, and the satisfaction of knowing you possess a piece of Americana that survived decades of circulation. For many, the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny embodies both the familiarity of daily life and the allure of rarity. As we reflect on the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, it's clear that coins are more than metal discs. They are historical markers, small windows into the past, and for some, keys to potential treasure. Every scratch, every gleam of copper tells a story. And even if you never plan to sell a penny, understanding its history can transform something as ordinary as pocket change into an object of curiosity and wonder. So the next time you sift through coins, don't overlook the small details. That unassuming 1967 penny might just be a hidden gem, a conversation starter, or even a piece of history waiting to be appreciated. The question is, will you be the one to spot it before someone else does? A single penny can tell a story that spans more than 50 years, connecting the present with a past rich in history, mystery, and the timeless appeal of American coinage. In the end, the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is more than just a coin. It's a reminder that sometimes the most ordinary things can hide the most extraordinary stories. And who knows, perhaps in your hands lies a small piece of history that others have overlooked, waiting to reveal its true value. Imagine holding a small piece of history in your hand, a coin that has passed through countless pockets, cash registers, and collections, quietly witnessing the story of America. But what if I told you that one tiny penny from 1968 could carry a surprising value that catches even seasoned collectors off guard? Today, we're diving deep into the 1968 D-Mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that looks ordinary but holds secrets that make it fascinating, sometimes rare, and highly sought after by numismatists. The 1968 D Lincoln penny is a 1-cent coin produced by the Denver Mint, as indicated by the small D stamp below the date. On the front, or obverse, you'll see the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, facing right, a design that has graced pennies since 1909, celebrating the centennial of his birth. The reverse side, or back, features the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of unity and perseverance that has become iconic in American coinage. Though it may seem ordinary, every penny carries its own story, and 1968D is no exception. 1968 was a time of change in the United States. The country was grappling with political and social upheaval, and yet the Denver Mint continued its quiet work of producing coins that Americans used every day. That year, the Lincoln penny was composed primarily of copper, with 95% copper and 5% zinc. This was the last period before the shift in 1982 to primarily zinc cores with copper plating, making these earlier pennies particularly appealing to collectors who favor the classic all-copper composition. The 1968 D penny is not just a piece of currency, it's a tangible reminder of a time when pennies were more than just pocket change. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1968 D penny is its design and production. While it shares the standard Lincoln profile and Lincoln Memorial design, experts pay close attention to small details. The die used to strike the coin can sometimes produce minor variations known as mint errors. These can include doubled dies, weak strikes, or slight misalignments. Even subtle differences, like an unusually sharp strike or a slight doubling on the date or lettering, can make a 1968 D penny significantly more valuable to collectors. So what makes the 1968 D Lincoln penny rare or valuable? For most coins of this year, they are considered common and circulate widely. However, certain conditions or errors can dramatically increase a penny's worth. For example, a 1968 D penny that has been exceptionally well preserved, showing little to no wear, can fetch much higher prices than a standard circulated coin. Collectors look for coins graded in uncirculated condition, often using professional grading services to determine their quality. Error coins, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet flaws, are especially prized because they are scarce and unique. To give you an idea of real-world value, a standard circulated 1968 D Lincoln penny might be worth only a few cents above its face value. But an uncirculated example, graded MS65 or higher, can sell for several dollars in the collector's market. Coins with notable errors, like a doubled die on the obverse or a striking anomaly, have been known to fetch prices in the hundreds, and in exceptional cases, even higher, depending on rarity and demand. Auction records show that coins in pristine condition, or with rare die errors, draw attention not just from hobbyists, but also from serious investors looking for unique pieces of American history. For collectors, identifying a real 1968 D penny is crucial. Genuine pennies will have consistent details, proper weight, and the correct metallic composition. Counterfeit coins can sometimes be made from cheaper metals or show inconsistencies in the design. Checking for sharpness in the date, clarity in the Lincoln Memorial details, and examining the mint mark under magnification are standard practices. Collectors also pay attention to the coin's edge, color, and surface texture, as these can reveal whether a penny has been altered, cleaned excessively, or is counterfeit. Learning these details not only protects buyers, but also adds an element of detective work that many collectors enjoy. Beyond its monetary value, the 1968 D Lincoln penny has fascinating quirks. Did you know that some coins from this year show slight color variations due to differences in the copper-zinc alloy during production? Some have a darker, reddish hue, while others appear lighter or more golden. These subtle variations can spark debates among collectors about which version is more desirable. There are also pennies that, due to striking errors, carry tiny imperfections that make each coin effectively one of a kind. These imperfections serve as a reminder that coin production is a human endeavor, subject to the limitations of machinery and materials of the time. Collectors love the 1968 D. Lincoln penny not just for its potential monetary value, but for the story it tells. It represents a snapshot of American history, the artistry of mid-20th century coin design, and the precision of minting technology of the era. Each penny can be seen as a miniature time capsule, a connection to past generations who used these coins in everyday life. For enthusiasts, holding a well-preserved 1968 D penny is a way to experience history firsthand, combining nostalgia, education, and the thrill of collecting. Finally, while most people might overlook a single penny as just spare change, the 1968 D. Lincoln penny invites curiosity. Could the one in your drawer be a rare find? Could it contain an unusual error or be in exceptional condition? The answer is sometimes hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone who knows what to look for. That's the magic of coin collecting. Even the smallest, most familiar pieces can surprise you, connect you to history, and in rare cases, transform from ordinary change into extraordinary treasures. So next time you come across a penny from 1968 with a small D beneath the date, take a closer look. Examine its details, consider its history, and think about the journey it has taken to reach your hand. Every coin has a story, but some, like the 1968 D. Lincoln penny, have stories that are waiting to be discovered. Who knows what secrets your coins might hold, or what hidden value lies just beneath the surface, waiting for an eye sharp enough to see it. The 1968 D. Lincoln penny may seem small, simple, and familiar, yet it offers a doorway into history, numismatics, and the thrill of discovery. Each detail tells a story, each variation sparks curiosity, and each well-preserved coin offers a tangible link to a moment in time more than 50 years ago. In the world of coin collecting, even a penny can be extraordinary if you know where to look. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that millions of Americans used every day. Yet this one, from 1971, could be worth far more than its face value. A coin so ordinary it's in every pocket, yet so extraordinary that collectors hunt for it like treasure. What makes a simple Lincoln penny suddenly become a rare and valuable piece of history? Today, we're diving deep into the 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin with a story that may surprise you. The 1971 Lincoln penny is a 1-cent coin, part of the long-running Lincoln cent series that has been produced since 1909. For over a century, Abraham Lincoln's profile has adorned the obverse of this coin, honoring the 16th President of the United States. But the 1971 issue carries a special significance, particularly when it comes without a mint mark. While many coins from this year were produced in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, the no-mint mark version from Philadelphia carries a subtle difference that can make it highly desirable to collectors. So what was happening in 1971 when this coin was minted? The United States was in a period of transition. The country was still adjusting from the social changes of the 1960s, and the economy was facing rising inflation. The penny itself was still made primarily of copper, with a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a formula that would continue until 1982, when the U.S. Mint switched to a mostly zinc core due to rising copper prices. The Lincoln penny had already been in circulation for over 60 years, and in 1971, it maintained the classic design introduced in 1909, with Lincoln's profile on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, a design that had been in place since 1959. Unlike some other years, 1971 didn't see any major redesigns or changes in production. However, this simplicity is part of what makes the 1971 no-mint mark penny so intriguing. The coin's uniformity means that subtle differences, production errors, or unique characteristics become highly noticeable to sharp-eyed collectors. These pennies are composed of a solid, durable metal, giving them a weight and feel that is instantly recognizable to coin enthusiasts. What sets the 1971 no-mint mark penny apart from other coins of the same year is its rarity in high-grade condition and the potential for minor minting errors. While millions of pennies were minted that year, finding one that has survived decades without heavy wear or damage is increasingly difficult. Coins with a full, detailed strike, sharp lettering, and an unblemished surface can attract premium prices among collectors. Certain errors, like doubled dies or off-center strikes, can transform a common penny into a rare collectible worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The value of this penny can vary significantly depending on its condition and any unique characteristics. For example, a 1971 no-mint mark penny in circulated condition might be worth just a few cents above face value, but a coin in uncirculated condition with perfect detail can fetch anywhere from $10 to $50 in the current collector market. If the penny exhibits a rare error, such as a doubled die obverse or an unusually strong strike, auction prices can climb even higher. In some cases, verified error coins from this year have sold for several $100s to dedicated collectors. These examples show how even a small, seemingly ordinary penny can become a treasure when history and rarity intersect. Identifying a genuine 1971 no-mint mark penny is relatively straightforward, but attention to detail is crucial. The absence of a mint mark on the obverse side, just below the date, indicates it was minted in Philadelphia. Collectors also look for the coin's weight and composition, which should be approximately 3.11 grams of 95% copper. The edges should be smooth, with a consistent color and luster typical of copper pennies. Coins that appear unusually bright, lightweight, or incorrectly colored may be plated or altered, so careful inspection is necessary. Using a magnifying glass or loupe, collectors examine the fine details of Lincoln's profile, the lettering, and the wreath on the reverse to ensure authenticity. Consulting reputable coin guides or professional grading services can also provide confirmation for those who want absolute certainty. There are some surprising and fun details about this penny that even casual observers might enjoy. For instance, the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse is so finely detailed that tiny figures of people can be seen inside the memorial if examined closely, a feature added when the design debuted in 1959. Another interesting fact is that the 1971 penny marks a period when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with different coin finishes for collectors, leading to the creation of special proof sets that featured mirror-like surfaces and more pronounced details. While most circulated coins never received this treatment, it's a reminder of the care and craftsmanship that goes into coin production. Collectors love the 1971 no-mint mark penny today for several reasons. Its connection to the long-running Lincoln Cent series provides a sense of continuity and history, bridging generations of coin use. It also represents a moment in American history, capturing the economy, design standards, and production techniques of the early 1970s. For those building a complete Lincoln Cent collection, the 1971 penny is an essential piece, and finding one in pristine condition can be a satisfying accomplishment. Its modest size belies the excitement and value it can hold, proving that even the smallest coins can carry big stories. Even more, there is a certain thrill in owning a coin that has passed through countless hands over decades, each penny telling a silent story of everyday transactions, historical events, and personal moments. Some collectors find joy not only in the potential monetary value, but also in the tangible link to the past that each penny represents. Holding a 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is like holding a piece of living history, a reminder of a time when copper coins were standard currency and Lincoln's image was a daily presence in American life. So the next time you reach into a jar of change or sift through old coins, take a closer look at that 1971 penny. It may appear ordinary at first glance, but with a keen eye, it could reveal itself as a rare and valuable treasure. Whether it's the gleam of well-preserved copper, the hint of a minting error, or simply the thrill of collecting, this small coin has captured the hearts of enthusiasts for decades. And who knows? The penny you have in your hand today could be the very coin that makes a collector's eyes light up tomorrow. In the world of coin collecting, ordinary can become extraordinary, and history can hide in the smallest details. The 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln penny reminds us that even the simplest objects can carry stories, value, and a touch of mystery. As you examine your coins, imagine the journeys they've taken, the pockets they've passed through, and the hands that have held them. You might just find that your next great discovery is closer than you think. A single penny may seem small, but its history, rarity, and potential value are anything but. The 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln penny invites us to look closer, to ask questions, and to appreciate the hidden treasures in everyday life. Could your next penny be worth more than you imagine? Keep looking, because in the world of coin collecting, even the most familiar faces can hold a surprising secret. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that could be worth far more than the pennies jingling in your pocket. A coin that looks ordinary at first glance, but hides a story of rarity, mistakes, and potential treasure. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Why would a single cent, minted over 40 years ago, capture the attention of collectors and coin enthusiasts across the country? The answer lies in history, design, and the subtle quirks that make this coin truly special. The 1977 Lincoln penny, officially called the Lincoln cent, was part of a series that has been in production since 1909. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the penny features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design introduced in 1959 to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday. In 1977, the United States Mint produced billions of these pennies, making them common in everyday change. Yet, amidst this sea of ordinary cents, a small number of coins were minted without a mint mark, creating a rare variation that has collectors talking even decades later. To understand why this penny exists, we need to step back into the 1970s. The U.S. Mint operated facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins struck in Philadelphia traditionally carried no mint mark, while Denver coins bore a D and San Francisco coins an S. During certain years, including 1977, some coins produced in Philadelphia were meant to have no mint mark. But what makes the 1977 no mint mark penny intriguing is the inconsistencies and confusion around its circulation. Some collectors have reported coins with faint or partially missing marks, creating what appears to be an accidental variety. These subtle differences make identifying the genuine article both challenging and exciting. In terms of design and materials, the 1977 penny is composed primarily of copper. Specifically, it contains 95% copper and 5% zinc, a composition that was standard for pennies until 1982, when rising copper prices led to a switch to a primarily zinc core. The obverse, or front, proudly displays a finely detailed portrait of Lincoln, capturing his solemn gaze and prominent beard. Surrounding Lincoln's portrait are the words, "In God We Trust," along the top, "Liberty" on the left, and the date, 1977, on the right. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stretches across the coin, complete with tiny, intricate columns and steps. The words "United States of America" and "E Pluribus Unum" crown the top, with 1 cent sitting neatly at the bottom. These design details are crucial for collectors when authenticating a coin or spotting errors. So why is the 1977 no mint mark penny rare? After all, billions of Lincoln cents were produced that year. The rarity comes from a combination of factors. First, finding a coin in pristine, uncirculated condition is increasingly difficult. Pennies are everyday coins, often lost, scratched, or worn from decades of handling. Second, the no mint mark variation, especially when contrasted with similar coins bearing a Denver D, creates a subtle but noteworthy difference that intrigues collectors. Third, any misstrike, doubling or minting error on a 1977 penny can dramatically increase its value. Even a minor anomaly, like a weakly struck 7 or a partially missing rim, can catch the eye of a numismatist searching for a unique specimen. Collectors and auction records provide a glimpse into how these pennies are valued. While a typical circulated 1977 penny might only be worth a few cents, coins in exceptional condition or those with errors can fetch much more. For instance, an uncirculated 1977 no-mint mark penny graded as MS65 by a reputable coin grading service could sell for several $100s, sometimes even reaching into the low thousands if the coin has an unusual error or exceptional luster. These numbers may seem surprising given the penny's everyday use, but in the world of coin collecting, condition, rarity, and provenance are everything. Identifying a genuine 1977 no-mint mark penny requires careful observation. Start with the date. A real coin should clearly show 1977 with sharp, well-defined numbers. Check for any signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration that might indicate circulation, as high-grade coins are far more valuable. Look closely at the mint mark area. In the case of a Philadelphia coin, there should be no D, but in some examples, faint remnants of a mark or die anomaly might appear. Compare the coin to verified examples from reputable sources or grading guides. Counterfeit coins are rare for this type of penny, but mistakes can happen, especially if someone attempts to remove or alter a mint mark. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to examine fine details like Lincoln's hair, the columns of the memorial, and the rim of the coin, which can reveal subtle signs of authenticity. There are also fun and surprising details about the 1977 penny that many people overlook. For example, the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse contains a tiny, barely visible statue of Lincoln seated inside, a design element that most people never notice without careful scrutiny. The way light reflects off the copper surface can change dramatically based on the coin's angle and wear, giving it a depth and texture that's almost sculptural. And though it may seem small, a single penny carries over a century of history, linking it to the economic, cultural, and political shifts of the United States in the 1970s. Collectors today love the 1977 no-mint mark penny for a few key reasons. Its accessibility makes it a gateway coin for new collectors, yet its subtle variations provide a challenge for seasoned numismatists. The coin offers a tangible connection to the past and a chance to discover a rare find hiding in a jar of change or a family collection. Each coin tells a story not just of Abraham Lincoln, but of the minting process, of human error and craftsmanship, and of the shifting value of everyday objects over time. There's a thrill in holding a coin that could have been overlooked for decades, only to be recognized as a small but significant treasure. As we wrap up our exploration, remember that the 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is more than just metal and numbers. It is history, mystery, and potential value, all pressed into a 1-cent piece. Whether you are a seasoned collector, a casual hobbyist, or someone simply curious about coins in your pocket, the story of this penny invites a deeper look at the ordinary coins around us. Next time you find a 1977 penny without a mint mark, take a closer look. You might just be holding a piece of history that has quietly waited for you to notice it. The next time you drop a penny into a jar, remember that even the most common coin can hide an extraordinary story. The 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny reminds us that value is not always obvious, that beauty and rarity can be found in the small and overlooked, and that every coin has the potential to surprise you. What other hidden treasures might be waiting in your pocket or your change jar? That's a mystery only time and a careful eye can reveal. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that millions of people have passed by every day, never realizing that it could be worth thousands of dollars. A coin so ordinary in appearance that most would toss it into a jar or pay for their coffee with it, yet so rare that collectors dream of finding one. This is the story of the 1981 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, a coin that hides a fascinating history and surprising value. The 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of those coins that seems ordinary at first glance. It features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, or obverse, a design that has graced the penny since 1909. On the reverse, it carries the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of the nation's respect for one of its most beloved presidents. But what sets this coin apart from the millions of pennies minted in 1981 is something you might not notice immediately. It has no mint mark. That tiny absence tells a story of rarity and intrigue. To understand why this penny is special, we need to go back to the year it was minted. In 1981, the United States Mint was producing billions of coins across its various facilities. Most pennies were struck in Philadelphia, which traditionally does not use a mint mark, while others came from Denver and later San Francisco, each with their own identifying marks. A no-mint mark penny from 1981 is not automatically from Philadelphia, as you might assume, because mint mark errors or unusual production circumstances can make coins from any mint particularly interesting to collectors. The Lincoln penny itself has a long and storied history. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the coin was revolutionary at the time because it featured the portrait of a real person rather than a symbolic figure. Over the decades, it has become the most widely recognized and collected coin in American history. By 1981, the Lincoln penny had undergone some minor changes in design and composition, but it still carried the essence of the original concept: simplicity, familiarity, and historical significance. One of the unique features of the 1981 no-mint mark penny is its composition. Unlike older pennies that were primarily made of copper, the 1981 penny is mostly zinc, with just a thin copper coating. This change in metal was due to rising copper prices and the need to produce coins more efficiently. The coin weighs just under 3 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. It is lightweight, easily carried, and deceptively ordinary in appearance. But for collectors, it is this very combination of design and composition that can make the difference between an everyday coin and a valuable find. What makes the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny rare is a combination of production quirks and collector demand. Most 1981 pennies were minted in huge numbers, but the no-mint mark examples are scarce in high quality. Many were spent and worn, making pristine specimens exceedingly uncommon. Coins that retain their original luster, free from scratches, corrosion, or discoloration, are particularly sought after. In addition, there have been reports of subtle minting errors in some of these coins, from off-center strikes to slight doubling of letters, which can further increase their value. Collectors have been willing to pay significant sums for this coin, especially in top condition. At recent auctions, high-grade examples have sold for hundreds of dollars, sometimes even reaching into the low thousands, depending on the coin's condition and rarity. To put that into perspective, a coin that most people would consider pocket change could be worth more than a small monthly paycheck. In private sales, a carefully graded 1981 no-mint mark penny has been known to attract offers from serious collectors looking to complete their Lincoln penny sets. These numbers highlight just how special this coin is to the numismatic community. Identifying a genuine 1981 no-mint mark penny requires careful attention. The first step is examining the coin's obverse and reverse for the correct design details, including Lincoln's profile, the Lincoln Memorial, and the precise lettering. Authentic coins have consistent thickness, proper weight, and a specific zinc and copper composition that can be verified with a magnet test or a professional grading service. Fakes or altered coins may attempt to remove a mint mark or mimic the appearance, but subtle inconsistencies, like uneven edges or incorrect coloring, are telltale signs. Serious collectors often rely on grading certificates or expert evaluation to ensure they are purchasing a legitimate coin. There are also some fun and surprising facts about the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. For example, because it is mostly zinc, the coin can develop unique toning over time, ranging from soft brown to reddish-orange hues. Some collectors prize these naturally aged colors, considering them a mark of authenticity and history. Another interesting detail is that despite being minted in the early 1980s, this penny is already considered a collectible, proving that even relatively modern coins can gain significant value under the right circumstances. Collectors love this coin today not just for its potential monetary value, but for the story it represents. Owning a 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is like holding a small piece of American history, a connection to the ongoing story of coinage, economy, and culture. It appeals to both new collectors, who enjoy the thrill of discovering hidden treasures in spare change, and seasoned numismatists, who appreciate the nuance of minting variations and historical context. It's a coin that bridges the gap between everyday life and the world of collectibles. The allure of the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny lies in the unexpected. It looks like a coin you see every day, yet it has the potential to transform a collection, spark curiosity, and even change lives. Imagine finding one in your drawer or coin jar, realizing that the simple penny in your hand could be a gateway to a fascinating hobby or a significant financial opportunity. It's a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary things hide in the most ordinary places. So the next time you come across a seemingly ordinary penny, take a closer look. You never know if it might be the elusive 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, quietly waiting to reveal its story and value. In a world where coins can tell history, spark curiosity, and even offer wealth, this penny stands as a testament to the fact that extraordinary treasures often hide in plain sight. Keep your eyes open, and perhaps your next great discovery is just a coin toss away. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that looks ordinary, almost invisible in a pocket full of change. But what if that tiny, copper-colored circle could be worth thousands of dollars? Today, we are uncovering one of the most fascinating hidden treasures in American coin history, the 1982 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. A coin so subtle, yet so rare, that collectors across the country are willing to pay top dollar just to add it to their collection. You might think you've seen it before, but this penny carries a story that could completely change how you look at your loose change. The 1982 Lincoln penny is part of a series that most Americans know well. The Lincoln cent has been in continuous production since 1909, celebrating Abraham Lincoln's legacy and holding a special place in the history of U.S. coinage. By 1982, pennies had already gone through several changes, both in design and in composition. That year marked a turning point for the 1-cent coin, a moment when practicality and economy collided in the United States Mint. The story of the 1982 penny begins with a real-world problem: rising metal costs. Until the early 1980s, pennies were made almost entirely of copper. The exact composition for the standard 1982 Lincoln cent had been mostly 95% copper and 5% zinc. But as copper prices soared, the cost of producing a single penny began to exceed its face value. The U.S. Mint had to adapt or risk losing money with every coin struck. This is why 1982 is so special. That year, the Mint made a historic decision. They switched the composition of the penny from mostly copper to mostly zinc, with only a thin copper plating. Some coins from that year are 95% copper, while others are 97.5% zinc. To make matters even more interesting, this was the only year the Mint produced pennies in both compositions simultaneously, which created an unexpected rarity for collectors today. Now let's talk about the unique features that make the 1982 no-mint mark penny stand out. The design itself is classic Lincoln. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln's portrait, facing right, with the words "In God We Trust" arching across the top. The date, 1982, is stamped clearly to the right of Lincoln, and Liberty appears on the left. On the reverse, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, replacing the earlier wheat ears design. But what sets this penny apart is what it doesn't have. The absence of a mint mark means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, and for many collectors, that subtle detail can greatly influence its value. Errors and variations add another layer of fascination. Some 1982 pennies were struck incorrectly, creating slight doubling on the date or the lettering, while others might have slight differences in metal composition, giving them a slightly different weight. These errors, often overlooked by casual coin holders, can make a common penny into a highly sought-after collector's item. While not every no-mint mark penny from 1982 is valuable, those with the right combination of features, metal composition, and condition can command prices far beyond their face value. So why is the 1982 no-mint mark penny rare or valuable? It's all about scarcity and timing. During the transition to zinc pennies, fewer copper pennies were made at the Philadelphia Mint than at other mints. Over the years, many pennies have been lost, spent, or melted down. This natural attrition has left a limited number of high-quality 1982 no-mint mark copper pennies in existence. Collectors know this, and scarcity drives demand. Real-world examples illustrate just how valuable this coin can be. A 1982 no-mint mark copper penny in uncirculated condition has sold at auction for hundreds of dollars. Some exceptional examples with perfect strike and luster can even approach $1,000 or more. Even circulated coins with no significant wear can fetch double or triple their weight in rare penny markets. Prices vary depending on condition, the presence of errors, and of course, whether the coin is copper or zinc. Identifying a real 1982 no-mint mark penny is crucial for anyone interested in collecting or selling. The first step is to examine the date and the absence of a mint mark carefully. A magnifying glass can reveal subtle doubling or tiny die cracks that add value. Next, the coin's weight can determine whether it is copper or zinc. Copper pennies from that year weigh 3.11 grams, while zinc pennies are slightly lighter at 2.5 grams. A simple scale can help verify this difference. Experts also suggest checking for color and tone. Copper has a warm reddish hue, whereas zinc pennies tend to appear paler and more silver-like over time. Learning these distinctions can make the difference between owning an everyday penny and a potential treasure. There are also some fun and surprising details about this coin that you might not expect. For instance, 1982 was the only year that saw both large-scale copper and zinc production in such quantities, creating an unusually diverse set of coins in circulation. Collectors sometimes refer to 1982 pennies as a year of transition because it marked a significant turning point in US coinage. Some collectors even try to assemble a complete set of all 1982 variations, including copper and zinc, circulated and uncirculated examples, and known era coins. This level of variety in a single year makes the coin particularly appealing for collectors who enjoy a challenge. Collectors today love the 1982 no-mint mark penny for a number of reasons. Beyond its rarity and potential market value, it represents a piece of American history and a moment of change in the country's approach to money. It's also a coin that tells a story about rising metal prices, about careful decisions made by the US Mint, and about the way ordinary coins can unexpectedly become valuable. For many collectors, holding a 1982 no-mint mark penny is not just about money. It's about owning a tangible piece of the past, a connection to history, and a conversation starter for anyone who sees it. Even casual coin enthusiasts find themselves intrigued by this coin. Imagine checking your pocket change or your old coin jar and discovering one of these rare pennies. It's the kind of moment that can inspire curiosity and excitement, the thrill of discovering that something ordinary could hold extraordinary value. Every detail matters: the mint mark, the metal, the condition, the presence of any errors. It's a puzzle that many collectors find irresistible. In the end, the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny reminds us that history and value can often be hidden in the most ordinary places. It teaches us to look closely at the small details, to appreciate the craftsmanship of coins, and to understand how even minor changes in composition or production can create lasting significance. The next time you handle a Lincoln penny, take a moment to consider its story. Could it be a simple 1982 penny, or could it be one of the rare no-mint mark coins that collectors dream about? The story of the 1982 no-mint mark penny doesn't end with what we've covered here. There are still thousands of coins out there, quietly waiting to be discovered in jars, drawers, and collections. Every coin has the potential to surprise, to reveal a hidden history, or even to transform the life of the person who finds it. One small penny, seemingly ordinary, carries a legacy of change, scarcity, and value. And for those who are curious enough to look, the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny offers a chance to connect with history in a way that is both exciting and tangible. So next time you encounter a coin in your pocket or change jar, take a closer look. You never know when you might hold in your hand a piece of history, a story of innovation and transition, and perhaps even a valuable treasure waiting to be recognized. The 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary discoveries come in the smallest packages. This is more than just a penny. It is a symbol of change, a bridge between the copper past and the zinc future, and a testament to the enduring appeal of America's coins. And while most people pass pennies by without a second thought, collectors know that hidden within those small circles of metal are stories, surprises, and opportunities that can turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. The 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a coin with a secret, and the question is, will you be the one to uncover it? Imagine holding a coin in your hand that most people overlook every day, yet it could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. A small piece of metal, stamped with a familiar face, hiding a story that few collectors even know. This is the 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that quietly defies expectations and captures the attention of rare coin enthusiasts across the United States. What makes this ordinary-looking penny extraordinary? Today, we dive deep into its history, its secrets, and why one of these could be sitting unnoticed in your pocket change. The 1987 Lincoln penny is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, which has been produced continuously since 1909. Designed by Victor David Brenner, Lincoln's profile has graced the obverse of the penny for over a century. By 1987, the penny had already undergone several changes, including minor adjustments to the design and composition. Most pennies minted that year were standard, produced in massive quantities at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. But some, like the 1987 no-mint mark penny, hold a special intrigue for collectors. In 1987, the United States Mint produced billions of pennies, mostly with a D mint mark for Denver. Coins from Philadelphia were traditionally left without a mint mark. This is where the 1987 no-mint mark penny comes into play. While it might seem ordinary at first glance, certain characteristics make specific specimens of this coin stand out. Coins with unusual features, errors, or specific production quirks can become highly desirable. The 1987 Lincoln penny continues the classic design introduced decades earlier. The obverse shows Abraham Lincoln in profile facing right, with the word Liberty to the left and the date to the right. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, a design that has been standard since 1959. These coins are composed primarily of copper-plated zinc, a change from the original solid copper pennies. Starting in 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned to 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper to reduce costs, and the 1987 pennies reflect this composition. While the design itself might seem ordinary, what makes the 1987 no-mint mark penny fascinating are the subtle variations and errors that can appear. Coins occasionally left the mint with doubled dies, off-center strikes, or weakly impressed dates. Even a small anomaly in the lettering or the shape of Lincoln's profile can dramatically increase a coin's value. Certain rare specimens of the 1987 penny have been known to sell for significantly more than face value, particularly those in pristine condition or with verified errors. Collectors prize the 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny for a few reasons. First, its relative scarcity in uncirculated condition makes it more valuable than pennies that have seen decades of circulation. Many coins minted in Philadelphia that year entered circulation immediately, subjected to wear and tear, and ended up lost or damaged. Finding a coin that has remained near mint for over 30 years is increasingly difficult. Second, the coin represents a key moment in the modern penny's history. Being composed of zinc with copper plating, it marks a shift in U.S. coinage materials that has persisted to today. There are documented examples of these coins fetching impressive prices. In recent years, uncirculated 1987 no-mint mark pennies have sold to collectors for hundreds of dollars. Some rare era versions have even reached into the low thousands at auctions. These sales are often driven by a combination of condition, scarcity, and the thrill of owning a piece of U.S. history that is both familiar and unusual. If you think you might have a valuable 1987 no-mint mark penny in your possession, there are ways to identify a genuine example. First, examine the coin's date and mint mark area carefully. A true Philadelphia coin from 1987 will have no mint mark at all, while Denver coins will be stamped with a small d. Check for doubling in the numbers of the date or letters, irregularities in the Lincoln Memorial, or unusual thickness and weight. Because these pennies are zinc-based, they are lighter than the older, solid copper versions. Consulting a professional coin grading service can help verify authenticity and condition, which is crucial if you ever plan to sell or trade. Beyond its collector value, the 1987 no-mint mark penny has some fun and surprising aspects. For instance, despite being over 3 decades old, many of these coins remain remarkably well preserved. The copper plating on zinc coins can naturally develop subtle variations in color over time, creating a unique patina that makes each coin slightly different. Some collectors even enjoy searching through rolls of pennies at banks or in change, hunting for these small treasures as a hobby, never knowing exactly what they might find. Another fascinating detail is how this penny fits into the broader story of U.S. coinage. By the late 1980s, the mint had fully embraced modern mass-production techniques, and yet small anomalies like doubled dies or missing mint marks still occurred. It's a reminder that even in an era of precision manufacturing, human oversight and chance could create coins that are now highly sought after. The 1987 no-mint mark penny is a bridge between the old and the new, a piece of history you can hold, touch, and examine in a way that larger artifacts cannot offer. Collectors today love the 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny because it offers a tangible connection to the past. It's a small, humble coin, yet it carries stories of production, era, and survival. It's a coin that millions of Americans used in everyday life, yet only a few remain in pristine condition, making them highly desirable. For those who study and collect pennies, it's not just about monetary value. It's about the excitement of discovery, the thrill of owning a piece of history, and the quiet satisfaction of spotting something rare when everyone else sees only ordinary change. The allure of this penny continues to grow as older coins are lost to circulation and collectors become more aware of their existence. Whether you are an experienced numismatist or someone who simply enjoys finding hidden treasures, the 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny invites curiosity. Could there be one in your own coin jar, hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered? The next time you handle a penny, take a closer look. That ordinary coin might just hold an extraordinary story, one that connects you to decades of American history and the fascinating world of rare coins. So what makes the 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so special? It's not just a piece of metal. It's a snapshot of a moment in time, a subtle era, a survivor of decades in circulation, and a reminder that value often hides in the most familiar places. Next time you check your change, look carefully. You might be holding more than a penny. You could be holding a small fortune or at least a piece of history that tells a story far bigger than its size. The question remains, could your next coin be the one that collectors dream about? Only time and careful eyes will tell. Imagine holding a coin in your hand, one that looks ordinary at first glance, but could be hiding a secret worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. A small, everyday piece of change, yet one that has captured the fascination of collectors across the United States. Today, we're talking about a coin that might be sitting quietly in your wallet, your drawer, or even a jar of spare change, the 2000 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. It's a coin that seems ordinary, yet hides a rare story, a twist in history that makes it one of the most intriguing modern-day collectibles. The 2000 Lincoln penny is a part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series, which first debuted in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. This penny carries the familiar profile of Lincoln facing right, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse, for the 2000 series, features the Union Shield, a design that symbolizes the unity of the United States and replaced the previous Lincoln Memorial design that had been used for decades. Most coins produced in the year 2000 came from the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, and each coin typically carries a mint mark, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. But the coin we are focusing on today is missing that mint mark entirely. So, why does the absence of a single letter make this coin so fascinating? It all begins with the production process. Coins are created in massive quantities, but even in the most automated, carefully monitored minting operations, errors can occur. In 2000, most pennies struck in Philadelphia were meant to carry a small P mint mark, but a very small number of coins somehow escaped without it. This might have happened due to a die error, a misalignment, or simply a rare moment when the mint mark stamping process failed. The result is a coin that looks almost identical to every other Lincoln cent, but experts and collectors instantly recognize its rarity. The 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny is made primarily of zinc, with a thin copper plating. This composition had been standard for pennies since 1982, when the U.S. Mint switched from primarily copper to zinc due to rising metal costs. The obverse showcases Abraham Lincoln's dignified profile, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" along the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 2000 to the right. The reverse, as mentioned, features a striking shield design with a horizontal banner reading 1 cent, flanked by vertical stripes, and the inscription "E pluribus unum." On ordinary pennies, these features are uniform and consistent. On the no mint mark version, the subtle difference lies in what isn't there, the absence of the P under the date on the obverse. Collectors value this coin not because it's dramatically different in design, but because of its scarcity. Even though millions of pennies were minted in 2000, only a tiny fraction emerged without the mint mark. This rarity turns an otherwise common penny into a sought-after collectible. Condition plays a huge role, of course. Coins that are crisp, with minimal wear, full luster, and sharp details can command a premium over circulated examples, which are more common. To put the value into perspective, auction results and collector sales provide fascinating insight. A 2000 Lincoln penny without a mint mark in circulated condition might fetch a modest sum, ranging from a few $100s to several thousand, depending on its grade. Higher grade examples, those that are uncirculated or have been professionally graded as near perfect, can sell for significantly more, sometimes exceeding several $1,000s at specialty auctions. These numbers are remarkable considering that the coin was minted just over 2 decades ago and would normally be considered everyday change. Identifying a genuine 2000 no mint mark penny requires careful observation. First, examine the obverse under good lighting. The area under the year should be clear of any mint mark. Be aware of altered coins. Some unscrupulous individuals have tried to remove a P from pennies to mimic this rare error. Authentic coins will have a smooth, natural surface under the date, without signs of grinding, polishing, or tampering. Comparing your coin with known examples from reputable sources, such as certified coin grading services, can help ensure authenticity. Look for consistent metal coloring, proper weight, and sharpness in the design details, especially around Lincoln's profile and the shield on the reverse. Beyond the technical details, there are some surprising and fun aspects about this coin. The year 2000 itself was symbolic, a new millennium, a time of optimism and change. The Union Shield design was also a nod to historical continuity, linking the modern penny with the ideals of a nation that had faced and overcome great challenges. For a coin to have been minted in such a significant year and to also carry a rare era makes it doubly fascinating. Some collectors even call it a modern treasure because it proves that collecting valuable coins isn't just about antiques. It's about paying attention, noticing small anomalies, and understanding history in everyday objects. Collectors today love the 2000 no-mint mark Lincoln penny for several reasons. It represents a bridge between modern coinage and historical fascination. Unlike older coins, which may require deep pockets to acquire, this penny is accessible enough for serious collectors and casual enthusiasts alike. Its rarity gives it prestige, but it also tells a story of the meticulous production process at the mint, of how a single letter or its absence can transform an ordinary object into a piece of history. It appeals to both those who seek financial gain and those who appreciate the subtle artistry and unexpected surprises in coin collecting. Another layer of interest comes from the fact that this coin is relatively young. Many rare coins that capture attention are decades or even centuries old. The 2000 no-mint mark penny shows that rare coins are not just relics of the past. They can emerge in your lifetime, in your pocket change, or in a collection you inherited. This gives collectors hope and excitement, knowing that even modern coins can hold the potential to be valuable and historically significant. The allure of this penny is also in the story it tells about attention to detail. Imagine the thousands of coins rolling off the press every hour, and yet somehow a handful slip through with a tiny difference. It reminds us that even in highly controlled processes, imperfections happen, and those imperfections can create something extraordinary. Collectors thrive on these small anomalies. They spark curiosity, they inspire research, and they build communities of enthusiasts who share stories, compare coins, and chase the thrill of discovering rare examples. For anyone who owns coins from the year 2000, this penny serves as a gentle reminder to look closely at what might otherwise seem ordinary. A quick glance could overlook a rare treasure. With proper care, attention, and verification, an everyday coin could become the centerpiece of a collection or a conversation starter among fellow collectors. The 2000 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is more than just copper and zinc. It's history, art, and a lesson in the surprising value of paying attention. Even if you never decide to sell or trade it, the excitement of owning such a coin is real. It's the thrill of holding something rare, of knowing it has a story, of imagining the journey it took from the mint to your hands. For collectors, this coin represents possibility, the possibility that ordinary objects can hold extraordinary surprises. And for those just discovering coin collecting, it's a chance to learn about eras, minting processes, and the subtle ways history leaves its mark in everyday life. So next time you sift through your pennies, remember the story of the 2000 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. That small, unassuming coin might be hiding a rare moment in history, waiting to be discovered. A coin that reminds us that treasure can appear anywhere, even in the change at the bottom of a jar, and that sometimes the most ordinary things carry the most extraordinary stories. Keep your eyes sharp, your curiosity alive, and who knows, the next penny you pick up could be the one that makes history.